strangest crash in F1 Barcelona. February 22nd, 2015. The sun shines cold over Circuit de Catalunya as preseason testing nears its end. Fernando Alonso, two-time world champion, has just left Ferrari to lead McLaren's return to glory. It should have been a hopeful new chapter, but instead, something bizarre happened. As Alonso rounds turn 3, a high-speed right-hander he's taken hundreds of times before, he suddenly veers off course. The car glides strangely across the track and slams into the wall on the inside. A low-speed impact, no debris, no flames, no explosion. But something's wrong. He's not getting out of the car. Medical teams rush to the scene. Extraction equipment is deployed. Alonso is conscious, but barely. He's airlifted by helicopter to hospital, diagnosed with a concussion. He'll miss the season opener in Australia. And F1 fans are left wondering, how did a slow-speed crash take down one of the most experienced drivers in the world? And why? Did it feel like something was being hidden? The mystery deepens. The day after the crash, McLaren issues a statement. They blame the wind. Yes, the wind. An unexpected gust supposedly pushed Alonso off course. They insist, no mechanical failure, no system error, just a gust of wind. But fans aren't buying it. This is Fernando Alonso. He's driven through typhoons, chaos, and championship finales. And now a breeze took him out? More red flags emerge. Alonso says he remembers turning the engine off himself, but Ron Dennis, McLaren's CEO, says he briefly lost consciousness. And then there's the radio. When the team tried to contact him, they heard nothing, just breathing. The contradictions mount. No public release of telemetry, no footage of the crash, and no clear reason why Alonso, a master of this circuit, would crash at such an easy corner. Something doesn't add up. Theories and denials. The media swarms. The paddock whispers. Everyone wants to know what really happened. One theory says Alonso simply made a mistake. Unlikely, especially at 135 kilometers per hour in a medium-speed corner he knows intimately. Another suggests a steering lock. Alonso himself says the wheel turned sharply on its own. McLaren denies it. Then comes the most chilling theory of all, electrocution. Some insiders believe a fault in the hybrid system sent a current through Alonso's body, momentarily stunning him. The MGU-K had failed the day before, and McLaren's brand new Honda engine was already plagued with electrical gremlins. Did the car shock him into the wall? McLaren claims the telemetry showed no electrical discharge, but they never released the data. And Alonso's memory? Reports swirled that he woke up thinking it was 1995 and he was still a go-kart driver. He laughed it off, said it was all nonsense. I didn't wake up speaking Italian, he joked later, but the truth, still buried under layers of silence and confusion. The electric ghost in the machine. McLaren insisted there was no electric shock. They reviewed the telemetry. They found nothing. No irregular spike, no discharge, no anomaly in the MGU-K system. But there was one problem. Nobody outside McLaren ever saw that data. And the car? It was riddled with electrical failures during testing. The day before the crash, Honda had reworked the MGU-K after another glitch. That same system runs electric current through the chassis to harvest and deploy energy. What if something went wrong again? Electrocution in an F1 car isn't just theoretical. If the insulation fails or the power system surges on impact, the driver can become the path of least resistance. And Alonso's strange behavior after the crash, slow reaction, assisted exit, confusion, it fits. McLaren had every reason to keep the truth quiet. Public confirmation of an electrical fault wouldn't just embarrass them, it would question the safety of every hybrid car on the grid. Silence from the top. As rumors spiraled, the official story got foggier. First, they blamed wind. Then Ron Dennis admitted Alonso was briefly unconscious. Then Alonso insisted he wasn't. Then McLaren said they heard him breathing on the radio, but not talking. Then came the kicker. The gust of wind theory? It came from a fan at the track. Yes, A world-class racing team based their explanation on something a spectator casually mentioned. The same corner had strong wind the day before, apparently. This wasn't transparency, it was desperation. Even Jenson Button, Alonso's teammate, later admitted he didn't fully understand what had happened. And Lewis Hamilton? He quietly voiced concerns over electrical safety to the FIA. But McLaren, no follow-up statement, no video release, no independent investigation. They moved on, but the fans didn't. A champion's return, a trail gone cold. By the second race of the season, Alonso was back. He walked into the Malaysian paddock smiling, brushing off the conspiracy theories. "No, I didn't wake up in 1995, he joked. "I remember everything." He denied the memory loss, denied unconsciousness, denied electrocution. But the contradiction remained. Why did McLaren claim he blacked out if he says he didn't? Why did they refuse to release the footage? Why was a slow-speed crash kept so secret? Alonso had no visible injuries, but his absence from the first race meant something happened that went beyond a bruise or headache. And still, no CCV, no onboard, no public telemetry, just a legend, sidelined by something no one could fully explain. A car crash that looked too soft to matter, yet left behind a storm of silence. A case that never closed. Time passed. The 2015 season unfolded. McLaren struggled. Alonso endured. But the questions never really went away. How does a champion miss a race from a minor crash? Why did McLaren downplay, then contradict themselves? Why did no footage ever surface? And perhaps the most unsettling question, was this a cover-up? Even Sebastian Vettel called the crash strange. Insiders whispered about an internal issue McLaren didn't want exposed, something deeper than just a steering glitch or gust of wind. A modern F1 car logs everything, every millisecond, every voltage spike, every steering angle. If there was nothing to hide, why was so much hidden? Maybe the data told a story that couldn't be released. Maybe Alonso was electrocuted, and McLaren knew it. Or maybe the truth was even more complicated, involving a combination of system failures and silence. To this day, the team's full internal report has never been shared. The footage? Still locked away. The exact cause? Unconfirmed. And the moment? Forgotten by many, but not erased. The unspoken cost of secrecy. Formula One is a sport of speed, precision, and image. Admitting failure, especially one that endangers a driver, is rare, especially for a team like McLaren, already on the ropes. But what's more dangerous than losing trust? If Alonso's crash had an electrical root, the implications were massive, not just for Honda, not just for McLaren, but for the entire hybrid era. A silent shockwave that could have changed the rules, the safety protocols, and the future of power units. Instead, the story died quietly. Alonso returned, McLaren moved on, and fans were left with a mystery only half told. The champion survived, but the truth still hiding in telemetry files and corporate silence. The wall no one saw coming. Fernando Alonso crashed at 135 kilometers per hour, and it was supposed to be routine, but it turned into one of the strangest, most secretive incidents in modern F1. A champion silenced, a story half buried, and a crash that felt more like a cover page to a missing chapter. Sometimes in Formula One, what's most dangerous isn't the speed, it's what never gets said.